Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mobile Rolling.
No, hang on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mobile Rolling. It's my pleasure to...
Get out of here.
Oh, okay. Well,
This is a joint thing.
you take it.
I was involved before you came
Well, you take over.
Oh,
well, you are.
You do it. No, I'll do it. No, you do it, I'll do it. No, I do it. You do it.
You're younger than
Not
me.
the chairman of the board now.
You can do it now, okay.
Okay, right. We're going to have a chat with Gary Crocker. We're going to interview Gary Crocker, and who knows? We'll see what comes out of this. We'll find out a little bit about this bloke, find out his history, where he came from, how he got involved in harness racing, because he's been enjoying doing his interviews with all the celebrities and all the superstars of the past. So now we're going to go to our lowest ebb and interview Gary very shortly. You okay with that?
Thanks.
If you're looking for help with any form of finance, give Gary Crocker a call. With over 20 years experience in the finance industry and 30 years in real estate, Gary is your go-to person. Whether it be your first or 20th purchase for owner occupation or investment, or for your self-managed super fund, a commercial property, a vacant allotment, a unit, a construction loan, a personal loan or a car loan. For respectful, professional and informed assistance with any of your financial needs, call Gary on 0408 945 755 now.
Welcome back, Gary.
Thanks there, Jimmy. It's your pleasure to be interviewing me today. And ask me whatever and I'll quote Bruce McAvaney if I don't want to answer it.
Okay. I haven't been able to sleep. No, I've been so excited to interview you.
Yeah, well, I haven't been able to sleep because of the cold weather at Kangaroo. It had nothing to do with this interview.
Now, where does it start with Gary Crocker? Now, you're a Pirie man, aren't you? Born and bred in Pirie?
Port Pirie, a long time ago. Went to the Risdon Park Primary School.
Yeah.
Went to the Port Pirie High School. And then eventually ended up in Adelaide. But yeah, basically Port Pirie for 47 years and 47 good years. Loved the place. Not a shadow of itself, but it was a great place to bring up a family.
I remember when I used to drive into Port Pirie, there's a big sign, the city of friendly people, Port Pirie.
That's correct, and that is still the same.
Yeah.
But they've probably changed it now to something else. But it is certainly a city of friendly people.
It is, it really is. There are a lot of friendly people there, but I've got to say, every time I've gone to the pub, there's always been a punch-up, there's always some sort of action, so there's a little bit of friendly punch-ups, I suppose.
Well, exactly.
Now, I remember you back in the days when we were in the Media Guild, but how did you get involved in harness racing and the Media Guild leading into that?
Well, in those days, like my mum and dad, when I was born in the pusher, they'd go to the trots on a Saturday night at Phoenix Park.
Yep.
Dad was mixed up with the Solomon Town Football Club. My sister's actually a life member of the Solomon Town Football Club. So we used to go to the trots, and in those days, and it went along for a long time, right up until probably 10 years ago, just about everyone at the footy club had an involvement in a horse. So I used to go to the trots, and then I got mixed up with Peter Thompson and when he was with Cyril Potts when Peter was only 14 or 15.
Yeah.
And so I had probably the first horse that we raced was one that Peter had, which we had struggled to get going, and Peter's late father Bert got it going. A horse called Walk Proud.
Okay.
It's a mare, which is
now
now the company.
Name of your company.
Yeah. So she was a Gary Rowan out of a mare called Taminga's Mission, and she went along pretty good. And I sort of went from there, and then I was riding in the trotting register for Bruce Skeggs.
Yes.
And it just sort of grew from there. And then we had the Media Guild, which was flying at that stage with DB and yourself and, Ian, the late Ian Fewings and that. And we used to go out to the place at Two Wells there. We
went to Dominic Barbro's in the end.
Went to Dominic Barbro's in the end.
Barbro's, which I remember. I think the Two Wells was before I got involved in the Media Guild. Yeah.
So we sort of got involved along those lines, and then I shifted to Adelaide about just over 20 years ago. So, and started with horses with like Peter Thompson and a few syndicates, and now we've got about 20.
Great man, Peter.
Yeah, great horseman. since he shifted to
Victoria.
Forest, he's certainly, I know, a big factor in the success of the Andy and Kate Gath stable, because there's no better horseman than Peter Thompson, especially for patients and babies. So he's the man. So so I had horses, and then I put them all in a company name 10 or 12 years ago, and breed a few and race a few, and so once you got it in your blood, you sort of a bit of pain.
We'll talk about the harness side of things a little bit later on, but as far as the business side, I mean, you've been an owner, you've been a breeder, but also a businessman as well. I mean, you started off in real estate, was it?
No, I started off, in those days, it was a day when you got offered 3 jobs in one day because there was that many jobs around.
Yeah.
And I started in the National Bank in Port Pirie, but I got shifted down to Maitland, and then didn't like that, so I got a job in the ENWS department. So I was there for about 12 or 13 years.
Okay.
Got sick of doing nothing really. We used to have our own mobile rolling.
That was a government job, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had our 3-way turf talk on Friday afternoons where we'd sit in there and work out our bets for the weekend. So I left there and went to work for Mobil Oil Company, which is those big tanks that used to be on the way into Pirie. And they shifted me up to Brisbane, and I had a high-flying job up there, but I only lasted 10 weeks, and I said, no, this is not for me.
Okay.
So I quit. I come back home to Pirie, and I was on the dole for a year for the day. I did a real estate course and ended up, myself and my former business partner, the late Les Oborn, we bought the company out, and then I had a divorce, and I shifted to Adelaide and did home loans. So I've been doing home loans since January the 7th. For 20 years now, so 20 and a half years.
Yeah, so you help people out with home loans.
I love it.
Finance manager?
I just do all their loans and whatever, because I've still got a real estate licence that helps me. You certainly wouldn't be doing it for the money, because it's the most regulated industry in the world, and if I was doing it for money, I probably would be doing something else. But I just sort of have a lot of clients all around Australia, and I sort of, you get a thrill out of helping some of them out that that need that. There's a lot of cutthroat people out there that are more worried about money. Well, if I was worried about money, I'd be sold up and go back to Pirie to live, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's what I do. So I do home loans. I think I've got one more year to go. It's too hard.
Okay. Now, to the harness racing side of things, the horse that I always think, when I think of you, is Artful Celeste.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she's sort of like the foundation. She's the foundation of the Walk Proud.
A whole lot, yeah. So what happened there is
Dynasty, we'll call it.
The dynasty, yeah. So I got a great friend, Jay Tonkin from Broken Hill, and I don't know how I stumbled across this horse, but I got Ross Pike, that like his father had just too good in that. And Ross was up at Shepparton Way.
Yep.
He went and had a look at it, and he said, if you don't buy it, I'll buy it, because it was a 2-year-old. And anyway, we bought it for $2,500 or $2,200, but we didn't have to pay for it until it won a decent race.
Sure.
So it had a stripped back leg. And I can remember Peter, it was out at Peter Thompson's place, and Jay came down from Broken Hill, and Kate was there, at Kate Thompson, of course, now Kate Gath, and Jay says, just tell me, Kate, it's not the one with that leg over there. She said, that's the one.
Yeah.
So Peter said, look, it just needs a bit of experience, so we sent it to Broken Hill. And I think it won its first 4 races at Broken Hill, and we still didn't have to pay for it because they were cheapos.
Okay.
And then we come down, and I can remember David Harding drove it on a Monday in a 3-year-old race, and the Carbone Sergi stable had Stanley Chasm in it, of which I think they might have had a couple of chocolates on it at 1 to 3. And David Harding drove it, and it led all the way, and it broke 2 minutes, and she ended up winning in Moonee Valley. Yeah. She won, a lot of good races. Kate ended up driving her at Moonee Valley. And then I said to Jay, we're going to breed some horses. And he said, the wife didn't really want me to have any more horses, and I'm trying to, we've got kids and that now. So I paid him out and put her in foal to Major, and the first one was Major Crocker.
He hooks to the outside. Major Crocker in front of Metro Mike Massini. Wide, the Flaming Flutter gets the runner. Major Crocker in front. Metro Mike Massini. Very wide 5-star anvil, but Major Crocker had a good run in front. He coast down to the line to win well. Major Crocker first. Tight for the minors. Metro Mike or Massini. Then
if he's not $1 million, I believe he's only about $4,000 short. But
Yeah, now he's racing.
he's in America. Yeah, we sold him to America.
Yeah.
So,
So was that the first horse you bred?
oh no, I did breed one earlier on by Skipper Mike, and Peter Thompson broke it in. And Peter's always a diplomat. I said, Pete, well, what do you think? He said, yeah, well, he said, yeah. I said, Peter, if it was yours, what would you do with it? He said, I just think we get rid of it. So that was the previous one.
So a dud breed.
Dud, that was no good. And I learnt then that if you breed to the lesser horses, it costs the same to keep them. So I just breed to the best I can, although that's getting pretty dear at the moment. So I bought because the mare was in New South Wales, and I actually put Major Crocker as a weanling in the sale.
Okay.
And I wanted 30,000 for him, and I got offered 28. And a bloke behind me said, "Oh, that bloke's he's got rocks in his head." And I won't say who the bloke was, but he's a prominent South Australian harness racing man.
So he said the person that bid 28's got rocks in
No,
their head.
I'm the one with the
not
rocks.
selling it.
Not selling it. Anyway, so I brought him home, and David Smith broke him in, and he's a great horseman, and he said, "Yeah, he goes along all right. He's not me top. He's not number 1 or 2. He's probably number 3." Well, I don't think the others have raced, and so we didn't race him as a 2-year-old, and then of course he won the Breeders' Crown.
Yeah.
And he won nearly 700,000 before he went to America.
What was the feeling like for you as an owner and a breeder winning the Breeders' Crown?
Well,
were you there?
Yeah, I was there. There's that thing that they used to be called the source or something, and they say if you focus on something enough, you'll eventually get it. And I didn't realise, though they say within reason, if you want something enough, if you focus on it all the time, you eventually get it. I come back from the Breeders' Crown on the Monday night, and I turned on my computer, and on the computer my screensaver was the Breeders' Crown trophy.
Fair dinkum.
And I remember putting that up the day after he was born in October.
As a bucket list.
And every day it kept coming up, and I didn't realise that every day I'd been focusing on winning the Breeders' Crown.
Yeah.
It's sort of, you get all those people that say surreal, and it's just, you don't really realise it, because I get just as much thrill out of winning the race at Broken Hill or Whaler as I did the Breeders' Crown.
Okay.
It just meant it was more money.
Yeah.
So then, I always wanted to win the Breeders' Crown and the Inter-Dominion. So I won the Breeders' Crown, and then of course Major went on to win the Constellation of the Inter-Dominion in Perth. But it's great you get great satisfaction out of, all of her foals all go good. And,
They've all won, haven't they?
Yeah, everyone's won, and the last one I've got, which is Eve Crocker, she's a bit special. I think she's my next superstar.
Okay.
She got beaten a nose at Bathurst after getting knocked over twice. So
people
ask me, because all of mine are named after my family.
Yeah.
And Adam was.
Well, let's run through
Adam
those.
is my son.
Yeah.
So they said, "Well, where does Eve come from? You don't have any kids called Eve." I said, "Yeah, but it's Adam and Eve."
Yeah.
Because they're sisters and brothers. Oh, okay. So there's Major Crocker, then there was King Crocker, then there was Innocent Crocker.
Where does that come from? Not from you.
No, well, it was always a virgin.
Can't possibly be you.
It was always a virgin. I thought, I can't name it after any of the family. So that's Innocent Crocker. Then there's Lisa Crocker. Samara
Lisa
Crocker
is
my daughter, lives in Auckland. Samara, she lives in London.
Yep.
So there's Adam, Lisa, Samara, and then Off Your Rocker Crocker.
Who's that?
Well, he's a brother to Major, but he's a little bit fizzy, so Michael Doldoff wanted me to call it. I said, I reckon Off Your Rocker Crocker. He said, well, I said, wait and see if he's any good. He said, you better put that name in. So he's a 3-year-old. And then we've got Eve. And then we've got a full sister to Major Crocker, which has just been broken in.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're going to call that yet, but I don't know. Fruitcake Crocker's getting a bit of a...
Really?
Because it's a it's a full sister to Off Your Rocker.
Yeah.
And then she's in foal. She's got a colt on her by Art Major.
Art Major as well, yeah.
She's in foal Art Major again.
Okay.
So...
so the last 3 will be Art Majors?
Yeah, no, well, she's probably going back this year to some beach somewhere, because
Okay.
I can still get semen for him, even though he's passed away.
Sure.
So by the time this goes to air, Adam Crocker should be in America. I sold him to America last week.
Did you?
They corner now. Adam Crocker still clear. Margin 5 metres. Cashed up, gets every chance. He peels to the outside. Our Major Day third. In front, Adam Crocker. The accelerator. Punch it, Adam Crocker. Adam Crocker all the way. Adam Crocker beat. Cashed up third, our Major Day. It's Mr. Clooney up for fourth. Then.
Okay.
So he raced here, we beat in Victoria, he raced here. Originally I had him with Bruce Hartley, the fifth man, and then it was with Justin Bruin, and then we came here for the Southern Cross. David Smith had him.
Yep.
He went to Pirie and he did break the track record that night, and then I took him down to Southeast, down to Neil Shepherd's for a break, and he needed that. And then he went up to Mick Mullins, and he's won about, I don't know, he must have won 70 or 80,000 when he was up there. And he went 151 3 in Albion Park not long ago. And of course he won that trot rods race. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's 947. He won the one last year. He went 149.
Yep.
So he'll go good in America because he's a very, very, very quick horse. He's not as tough as Major, but he's quicker in my
You sold him to America?
Sold him, yeah.
Did you sell Major to America?
Yeah.
Yep.
Major had to go because he was bleeding, and of course you can't treat him with Lasix, you can in America.
Yeah.
Otherwise he would have still kept racing here.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've got a couple of others. I've got a trotter called Princess Faith.
All right.
I bought her off of a bloke called Greg Fusionato.
Mm-hmm.
He bred our Waikiki Beach. So I bought her for 2,500, and she was with Justin Bruin. They couldn't even get around the track. He got her going. We won a race. He said, "Look, mate, if I can take all the gear off her, she'll go like a rocket. But she needs a lot of racing." So I sent her up to Peter and Chantel. She won I don't know how many races up there, and then I sent her down about 6 weeks ago to Michael Doldoff, and she's had 2 starts for 2 wins, including the last start. She went 156.2, which is flying. So she's I think the 6th fastest progeny by Majestic Sun. So she was supposed to have raced. Again, but with all the weather over there, they couldn't get to the track. So I don't know when she's going around again.
Yeah.
And then I got another one. I had a mare called Incendio I bought, and I've got a foal out of it, but I gave the mare away to someone. So I've got about 18 at the moment.
That's enough?
Oh yeah, and I've got one galloper, but we won't talk about that.
Okay.
So that's about it. So yeah, I love them. I go watch them all the time if I can, if they're in a decent race. Although with COVID it made it a bit difficult.
Yep.
But I love my horses, and those that don't make it, I give away to people to ride and that, because they're normally a nice, quiet, they're quiet animals compared to the gallopers.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
All right. Well, what about the show, mobilerolling.net? I mean, you've interviewed some very, very special people in your time. You've enjoyed that part of it?
I think as the team, Max, Lee, yourself and all, we're just preserving history.
Yeah.
There's so many people that, I would have loved to have been able to interview. Just the one with Dominic Barbaro, his family were so rapt that we got it on tape. And from the time when Dom passed till when they had the funeral, they watched that so many times and if we didn't have that, we're just preserving history.
People and the people, if they brought a horse, I'd always
make them all feel welcome,
make sure I go and see them. And
Not that you would like having parties or welcoming people, but obviously...
Well, have them up there for a drink.
Exactly.
Otherwise, what was it there for,
Exactly. Like to be able to interview people like Lindsay Head, who was my idol as a kid, as a footballer.
Yeah.
Bruce McAvaney. The Rex Vanstone interview was amazing because it's no different than you. People see Jimmy Jakes, but they don't know what he's about, what makes him tick.
Whatever. I come from Wandera, a district next to Butler's Bridge. And then my brother and I bought a property at Butler's Bridge, which is about 9 miles just...
What year was that, Rex?
About 56.
And that's what people... And that's why the mobile rolling show is so, I believe, successful, is people want to know about the good times and how things evolved and why they were there and what they were there,
Yeah.
Bruce is a perfect example, bought, Ferryden Park.
Yeah.
Woodville High.
Yeah.
And is renowned world superstar.
Exactly. It's you make a good point in the fact that exposing these people that are hidden, that have done so much for the sport, you know. And for argument's sake, Dominic Barbaro, talking about him, I mean, we spoke before about how he was there for the media guild in a big way. Like he would host a barbecue at his place where we just sit around, eat his food, have a couple of drinks, have a bit of hit of tennis, because he was there to entertain us, you know. And obviously with his business with robot printing the race books, there was that joint between us, I suppose. But yeah, I remember speaking, I can't remember the guy's name, who rang me up after Dominic had passed, and he told me how good Dominic was for the media guild before I actually got involved. He was a writer for the Advertiser, and it's remiss of me to forget his name. But nevertheless, he said, and it's something you probably wouldn't do now, but they threw on a gambling night to raise money from the gambling night, and Dominic had all the different tables, like the roulette table that he had, all the betting tables, Crown and Anchor and all that, and people would just go there and have some fun, and the money that they raised from that they put towards the media guild, as far as the media guild
sponsorship, yeah. And of course, he had like unbridled passion. It was between him and Robert Zarella. It wasn't asking, it was like, well, this is what we're going to do, and they did it.
Yeah.
You know, when I had the invitation drivers, when Vin Knight came up, you know, can you give me Vinny's number? Yeah, I ring him up. Vinny says, yeah, I'll be there. Whereabouts is it again?
Port Pirie.
Yeah, whereabouts? Yeah, I'll be there. And all of a sudden, Dominic's got a busload.
Yeah.
You know, and unbelievable. So, unfortunately, those people with passion, of which you'd be one of them, it's slowly been, pardon me, it's been sort of dissipated and drained and battered. So, you know, and that's why the mobile rolling thing, I think it brightens people's lives up, you know. They really do like it. So,
well, it's pretty tough out there for the participants, you know, to make ends meet. I mean, you know, all right, you've had a bit of luck where you've had a brood mare that's produced some really good performers that you'll be able to win prize money and then sell on, you know.
But that pays for the others that can't run.
Exactly. So people miss that point. That
we raced for $1,000 in Pirie 35 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but you know, the cost of a car 35 years ago to today.
Well, I always remember my uncle saying, if you won a quali or a graduation or whatever they called them back in the Wavell days, you only had to win one a year to pay for you, your horse and your family for 1 year. But if you win that same race at Globe Derby now, it's only to pay for you, your horse and your family for 1 month, you know, and that's the difference, you know.
Exactly.
But it is what it is. But the thing is, the sport of harness racing it's like a drug, like it's in your system and you might get away from it, but you always come back to it, don't you?
Oh, exactly. And that's why the younger generation don't understand that. Because it's not a drug to them.
They didn't get to see the highlights that we saw, you know, like we saw the big crowds, the big horses, the atmosphere and the excitement, you know, and unfortunately that's not there nowadays. I blame it on modern technology myself.
Sky Channel's probably killed it really because you don't have to go to the track anymore, do you?
Well, you know, it's other things that come into that as well. What about you as you decided to have a stint as chairman of the board? What was going through your mind there? What did you want to achieve? What made you want to go to be chairman of the board of Harness Racing SA and CEO? What was on your bucket list? What were you?
Well, it wasn't really. It was an approach by the country clubs to, I suppose, at the situation and the gravity of how the industry was and the issues which unfortunately are still there. So I thought I
could see the business sinking.
I think we could all see that.
Yeah, and then
it hasn't been changed yet. It's still the same.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, like a bloke like you've seen the best, you've called the best, you've whatever, and you must sometimes go home and go, why am I doing this? Because your passion is getting battered. It's you know, like we're no longer front and centre. We're not cool. Our fields are disgraceful. You know, 5, 6, 7 horse fields. You know, the same ones going around every week. It's just, you know, we don't want glitz and glamour, but you know, good horses will attract people. Doesn't matter whether you've only got to see when I think it was Winks or whatever come over here, Winks or the other good mare. The place was packed. You had to buy tickets.
Yeah, Black Caviar.
Black Caviar. Black Caviar. So how long since we've had You know, the best two horses,
the highlight horses, I'll come out and see.
Well, the best two horses out of South Australia in the last 10 to 12 years would have been Come On Frank and My Horse. And Come On Frank was a rock star here, and My Horse was interstate. But you know, other than him going around every week, there was no horse anywhere near him.
Right,
It's sad. So.
What about the good times? What do you remember about the good times that made you happy? That excited you about the sport of harness racing? That kept you
all the time.
Trots.
Oh, look, we organised the Crows to drive trottinals at the Pirie Trots one night, much to the disgust of the Adelaide Football Club. We had Mark Bickley, Sean Wren, Bones, McDermott, and the dapper bloke that played in halfback flank for Norwood. He couldn't move.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable. They tried to stop it and everything. Like, those days were great. You know, I can remember some of the characters of the game. You know, some of the things. I can remember Peter Fuller, what a great horseman. He had a horse at the Trots one night. I think it was called Glee. And
that sounds about right.
I thought, where's the horse to? And anyway, there wasn't in the stall, and then it comes in. He's got the bike on it and goes out and wins. Hadn't raced for about 2 years. And I looked out, and Glee had a foal, and the foal was in the float. He's got the mare in the foal, in the float, and he puts her in the bike and goes out and wins. Now that's a horseman. That is a horseman. You know. We had the good old days when you go to Whaler, and we'd say Big Neville Thompson and Peter Neville would work out how many pieces of chicken you needed to get the trip home. And, we go to Adelaide to the yearling sales over the old days at Wavell, Didn't want to buy a horse, you ended up with one. You know, you'd go into the Gouger Street Cafe and have a snack, and then, we better stop at Wakefield on the way home. We're a bit peckish. Those days are gone. Like I live in Kangaroo. If I got one run at Globe Derby on a Monday, unless it's $1.10, time I get there and get home and watch the race, and that's a 3-hour job.
Yep.
And it could miss away and run last. So but no, I think all the good. I've seen all the we had drivers' invitations in Pirie where they said you won't get Vin Knight. I said, well, why won't we get Vin Knight? Vin Knight. We had Jimmy O'Sullivan, Kersley, Binskin, Gavin Lang. Andrew Peace, all the best.
All the big names.
Come to Pirie.
Yeah.
None of them knew where Pirie was. They did after they went home. And the late great Bob Augie would take him back to the motel, and they just loved it. Bulldog Nicholson, who's got his horses racing very well at the moment. How do we get back to this next year? You get an invite. Well, what do I got to do to get an invite? Like, they loved it.
They did. And I remember going to an interstate country meeting in Victoria. John Cowdo came up to me. He said, Jimmy, how come I didn't get an invite for Port Pirie? They wanted to come back. Same with David Murphy. They just loved it. It was a getaway for them to break away from their normal daily routine, like a little mini holiday, and they'd do what they love doing, driving horses and being part of the sport. I had a stint doing the trophies for Pirie, and you didn't have any trouble getting trophies for Pirie because you got coverage. This day and age, we used to have the driver's invitation night. You'd have Escort cigarettes and Ansett Airlines just giving you whatever you want. Now, it's not cool. They'd rather spend it on something else. But and Port Pirie is a great club, and they're really trying their hardest to keep the place going as good as it is. I'm sure other clubs would have rolled over by now. All right, and wrapping it up, Gary, how do we finish this off?
Well, I just hope that I have a lot of winners.
Yeah. As an owner, breeder.
Yeah, I just enjoy. See, none of my children have any interest in the horses at all. I think they get royalties if it's named after them.
Yeah.
But that's called a will. So I just would love South Australian harness racing to get back to, it's got to be run like a business and if it only has to run one meeting a week or 2 meetings a week, so be it. But at the moment, there's not much incentive. Like, I love racing my horses here, but as far as the Southern Cross and the conditions put on there now, I can't bring them back here because they've got to be back here for the whole year, which means I'm going to miss out on racing in in the big races over there, which I need to pay for the rest of them.
Yeah.
So the ones that aren't good enough can race here, they have to. But the ones that are the special ones have to pay for them. So I sort of run it as a business, but I get a great pleasure out of it. I've got some great trainers, like the McMullen Chantel Turpin team's great. I've got Michael Doldoff in Sydney. I do have a horse in Perth with Michael Radley and Justin Prentice and the Running Camel crew. Yeah, one I sold at the sales last year, I ended up buying 10% back. It's called Rolling Fire. Okay. It's a lovely horse. So, yeah, I just enjoy it. I think, as you know, if you try to get out of it, you really can't. You can just sort of make your involvement a little bit less. Yeah. But, yeah, you know, I think we've seen some great people driving. You know, I've seen the best here. David Harding's an unbelievable driver and a horseman. You know, some of the trainers here that are just like the late Bill Moyle, what a great man he was with the horse. Just no one can improve him off him, you know. So I just hope that, you know, the sport can, I don't know how it's going to get any money put into it because the government aren't that interested in us. It's not cool, as we say. So yeah, I just hope that I can have a few winners and hopefully win enough to retire. You know what I mean? Retire as in Tire.
Tire. Well, there he is. There's Gary Crocker. There's a little bit, you've got a bit more knowledge about him, about what he got involved in and how he got involved and how much he loves the sport of harness racing. All right, that's it for the Gary Crocker story. We'll come back, who knows, whenever on mobilerolling.net.